Hey everybody, I'm Alyssa Dawson, your host of Food Finds, right here on Novus TV, coming to you from the Vancouver Home and Design Show. If you're wondering where food comes into play, well, kitchens have to be designed right. And what better way to show off a beautiful kitchen than to get cooking with a celebrity chef?
All right, so I think everyone who's, been out on the Vancouver dining scene or has really even turned on their TV knows who this man is. Consider myself very lucky today to be on this side of the counter. So I know a lot of people, when they're cooking, find it hard to marry health and those big pops of flavor. So what would you say are some of your tips?
You know what, oddly enough, you still want to keep it simple, right? So you don't have to really complicate things. It's something for me, I've always been a simple-minded chef, even with what I do at Cactus Club, it's all about, you don't want to layer anything with flavors, you just want to keep things simple. And I think that it's something for me that I think at home you just have to remember, simple things like a really good olive oil, for example. I use some fleur de sel, so it's a little bit of a different flavor than regular salt. Those are two really basic things.
Local ingredients?
Local ingredients is really important. And fresh. The whole thing is, this whole farm to table thing is to keep it as fresh as possible.
Yeah, so today, what are we going to be making? I see quinoa there.
Yeah, well,
ingredient.
This is it's funny. quinoa has been around for, this is a grain that originated in Central America. So it's been, for example, Peru is one of the spots that it's originated, but we're talking a long, long time. So oddly enough, with all these people with gluten-free allergies, etc., that's coming up, they're looking for something like that. And that's kind of why quinoa has popped up. And not just that, people forget it's probably one of the most complete proteins on the planet. So I'm going to make, like I said, one of the things that I like in terms of keeping simple, and you were saying, the flavor components. So what we're going to do is show everyone a very simple salad with quinoa that doesn't really have much in it at all in terms of like a dressing, and we're going to come up with that right at the end. So we're going to start with the quinoa.
Okay.
And we're not going to really go any crazy quantities. We're just going to start with the quinoa. Okay, and then from there we're going to take some, this is just yellow and red peppers that we've just cut,
they're
right?
so bright and colorful though. You can tell there's going to be that flavor in there already.
You could roast them if you want, but we're just going to leave them whole. Okay.
I think it gives it nice texture too, having the raw element in there.
For sure.
That crunch.
And that's the whole thing when people are eating salads. People are looking for sort of that crunch, right? We've got some green beans that we've blanched off.
I was going to say, speaking of green beans, actually, I know a lot of people will complain because they'll turn a bit of a darker green. So how do you prevent that?
Well, it's either one of two things. If you're like, well, you know what, I'm nervous cooking green beans, then buy some snap peas.
Okay.
Snap peas are really easy, and you can keep them raw. So if you want it green and that real crunch, snap peas. Green beans here, the whole idea is, it's boiled water, again salted, and it's in and out for like 10 seconds. That's all you really need. So just be careful.
I told you guys I'd be bringing you tips.
Well, if you cook it for 30, 40 seconds, the longer you leave it in the water when you're we call it blanching in cooking, then the more it's going to cook, right? So the less, and the most important is like a little ice water bath. Put it in the ice water when you're done, and you're good to go. So we got the green beans that are somewhat green still, and some tomatoes. Okay. This is some fresh basil, okay?
I was just going to ask, because I know quinoa can kind of be a little bit bland sometimes
if
you don't really add the right flavorings in there. So fresh herbs, you'd say, would be a great thing
fresh
to boost
herbs,
that flavor and drive it home.
If you've ever had tabbouleh, if you ever had couscous from Morocco, for example, you've got the couscous, and then you've got like mint, or you've got mint and herbs. Yeah, it's awesome. It's really
so
good. And
wow.
some little bit of green onion.
Okay.
I've got some. These are some pecans that have been spiced, but if you
Are
wish,
they candied?
These are candied, so there's a little bit of sugar on them, a little bit of spice. You could use hazelnuts if you wanted to. You could use pine nuts if you wanted to. Absolutely, go right ahead.
Have to do this. It's a rough part of the job.
Okay.
Oh, those are delicious on their own.
They're really good. And then we're going to add some capers that have been rinsed. These are just capers that have been rinsed in a little bit of cold water. Okay, and then for some sweetness.
So salty brininess comes from the capers?
Salty brininess comes from the capers, but you want to get rid of that. So rinse it under cold water. And then of course sweetness, definitely. We're going to add a little bit of golden raisins. Now here's where it gets interesting. You can change this up if you wanted to. You could add some goat cheese to this if you wanted to. You could add feta cheese if you wanted to.
A man after my own heart.
Yeah, so it's really this. I'm just giving you a building block, and then this is the dressing. We got some lemon juice. Okay, this is just basically half of a lemon. Okay, we're going to take a little bit of olive oil.
So again, really good quality olive oil will make a big difference here.
Absolutely. A little bit of salt. Oh, this is extra virgin olive oil, so nice, good olive oil, or grapeseed oil you can use. I like olive oil because you're adding, again, flavor. You can also, when we talk about olives, add olives to this if you want, right? It'd be kind of a nice mix. So again, there's lots of colors in here.
Look at that.
It's very simple, right? And all you're using for the dressing is lemon juice and olive oil. So everyone knows that a tablespoon of olive oil is like your perfect amount for the day. You're not even getting that here.
So that took what? Not even 5 minutes to make all this.
And if you think about it, tomatoes will take no time at all to cut. The capers you can buy, green onion, no big deal. Green beans will take you all of like 3 or 4 minutes.
Or the snap peas even less time?
Yeah, and then the quinoa is about 5-6 minutes to do. So if you wanted to put the salad together, once you get home, you're looking at maybe 30 minutes.
Okay, and I know this is healthy cooking, and I'm actually gonna try this if that's okay.
Yes, please.
This looks incredible, and I'd be crazy to pass up an opportunity to eat Rob Feenie's food.
This is only a quinoa salad. This is not foie gras or truffles. We're good.
It doesn't even matter if it's not. That is incredible. And a little bit of salt on top.
A little bit of salt.
It brings out every flavor in there. Wow.
And you've probably got easily 20 grams, 30 grams of protein in there.
All right, thank you so much for having us today, showing us how to cook this amazing meal in 5 minutes.
You bet.
Absolutely incredible. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you. Bon appetit.
Oh, thank you. Don't mind if I do.
Cooking with Rob Feenie, I can check that off my bucket list finally. And I think it makes for pretty awesome food finds for all you guys as well. Now, if you want to add to that go-to list of recipes, all you have to do is pick up a copy of Rob Feenie's Casual Classics. And of course, join me on my next culinary adventure right here on Novus TV.